Good morning, everyone. This is Srikanth Rajan, and welcome back to the Stock Market Podcast from MPIinvest.com. Well, yesterday was an amazing expiry because, of course, we at MPI Gold Club, first of all, have closed this week again with more than 1% return and looking very good, for next week as well. So, what happened? First of all, being an expiry, the market was volatile, and it has been volatile, but it was even more volatile yesterday. In fact, at one point of time, it went so close to the all-time high, just 1 or 2 points away from all-time high, and from there, we could see the fall coming in. In fact, there was a second trial that went up again, but then that also could not sustain, and then we could see the profit booking kicking in, and we could see the stocks actually falling, and we could see the market actually going down and closing just below 18,800. But then, of course, one good thing is it has taken a good support around 18,700. That's a great thing to be looking at right now. But does that mean this Indian stock market is going to break out or break down from here? I am kind of more inclined towards break out from here. So that's something that I am waiting for because I don't see a reason why it has to break down. But then, of course, markets can never be predicted, but they can only be assumed, or it is only anticipation that we can do. So that's exactly what we do at MPA. We don't judge a market, we don't predict the market, we only just go with the flow. So that's something very important as of now. Now, very important thing, like I've told you earlier also, every dip can be considered as an addition opportunity where you can add on to the stocks. So that could be looked at. If you look at yesterday, we could see some major power coming in from HDFC Twins. So HDFC Twins have been like very volatile of late because they're either, I would say more of a sideways in HDFC Twins because one day it rises, one day it is down, but then finally it's going nowhere. So it is very huge consolidation that's happening in HDFC Twins, and it has to break out one day. I don't know when that could happen, but whenever that happens, that could be a big one. In fact, I've got a good investment in HDFC Twins personally, which I'm expecting to do well as things go further. Apart from that, if you look at, we could see major bearishness in Bank Nifty yesterday, and almost every sector saw a decent sell-off. Majorly because a lot of people who are holding with good profits would think of booking some partial profit out of it, and that is nothing wrong about it. But then, interestingly, the institutional sales have been very less. In fact, yesterday the FIs have sold for almost 600 crores, and DIs have bought for about 200 crores. A net sale of just about 400 crores. But then it would whatever happened yesterday could be more of attributed to the expiry related volatility as well. So what happens today would be important to see. But then, interestingly, in the next few weeks, Bank Nifty expiry is going to Friday, and once that happens, I think mid of July. Once that happens, Friday is also going to be insane. So that's something that can be expected. But then, what I'm expecting is if Bank Nifty expiry shifts to Friday, Thursday, Nifty expiry where we trade at Gold Club maybe could become more tolerable, and the insane movements may not happen is what I expect. But then let's see how it goes. I'm of course waiting for it. So that's one thing apart. Okay, apart from that, if you look at US market, after Indian markets closed, even the European markets closed in the negative. So I was expecting a negative opening at US, and that's exactly what happened. But then there was positivity seen as people have felt that probably the correction is enough for the rate hike that is being proposed. So yesterday there was a good buying, and we could see Nasdaq up by close to 1%. S&P 500 also was up. Dow was slightly negative, but that is okay. So that actually gave some positive to SGX Nifty. But then this morning, as we look at, Chinese markets are closed for their holiday. So because of that, SGX Nifty doesn't have any cues from the Asian markets as such. But then SGX Nifty has gone slightly lower this morning. So that means probably we could see a flat to slightly gap down opening today. But then that is a kind of good sign, I would say, because there are high chances that we could see some buying kicking in. And if that happens, we could probably see a trending day, which has been the kind of norm in last few Fridays, isn't it? In fact, last Friday, if you remember, the way the market rallied in the last half an hour, oh my God, last 1 hour, I would say, last Friday. I'm sure all those members, who are actually trading would have noted that the last 1 hour from 2:30 to 3:15 almost, the big rally upwards, and from there a fall. That is what happened in Nifty. So that actually helped us garner a lot of premiums on the call side, and that actually helped us good returns in the Gold Club trading. Apart from that, if you look at investing, most of the stocks are doing decently well, especially mid cap and small caps have already hit their all-time highs. So it is only the biggies that is actually holding back the market right now. So, with IT sector actually giving a lot of weakness to the market. In fact, there was a report yesterday by JP Morgan that said that, the IT companies in India would see a declined margin in the next quarter result. So that is actually kind of slightly negative. In fact, there are a lot of rumors also saying that, Chat GPT or becoming of AI can actually help, actually be a negative to Indian IT companies, because most of the Indian IT companies are service-oriented companies. But then, if you, I just came across one of these videos by Narayan who says, these tools are not, I'm not an IT guy as such, but then common sense prevails, and that says that whatever it is, AI is also developed by human beings. So it might make the work easier, but does not mean that it could probably replace a human. So that's something which is kind of okay. And I think as on today, I think there was even an announcement by Infosys that they are looking at free certification for people in using AI related, support for their work, and that was something really good. So it could probably make coding and all easier for IT service companies. So these are things which could be a temporary rumor, but probably because of which the IT sector is not performing in India. But then it should actually get back to track, is what I would say, because these large scale companies still they have enough order flows and business that they can actually sustain over a longer time. So these are things that is happening in the IT sector. So if you see IT sector being so weak and still Nifty is close to all-time high, banking sector is also has been underperforming for quite some time. But then banking sector is also close to all-time high. So then banking sector gets some power. If HDFC merger completion happens or anything of that sort, actually it's waiting for a trigger to actually take the market up. So if that happens, that's more than enough to take the markets up and hit an all-time high. But then once it hits a all-time high, we again have a new all-time high number, and the next target would be to hit that. But then if there is a very positive breakout, there are high chances that the breakout can sustain for next 2-3 months. So that could be watched. But however, this is all for short-term traders. But then if you're looking as a long-term investor, as I always say, just sit back and relax, as your stocks and investment can give more returns to you. So that's about it, I think, for a Friday. Of course, let's see how the market will it go trending like last week. FIIs have not been selling big. That's a good positive. DIIs also have not been selling big. Instead, they've been booking partial profits and probably some small buying. So overall, institutional wise, things are looking good. It's now only the retailers' support or confidence which is very important at this point of time. So now that the US markets have actually recovered yesterday, there are high chances the IT sector also can recover today. And if along with that, if some investor sentiment actually gets added, in fact, a lot of puts added on the option front. So these things can actually give slightly more confidence to retailers, and if they join any of these institutions together, they can actually take the market up. So for the next week, I would be going on a more cautious mode for trading, because on the call side, we really don't have a resistance as such, because we are almost very close to the all-time high, which if broken, we don't have any levels to watch on the higher side. So I would rather have a safe game plan. And at this point of time as well, you see, we don't have to trade every day of the year to make a lot of money. So even staying out of market or reducing our position, especially during these times, when the markets are getting unpredictable, is also a good thing, because saving money is also money earned. So that way, I would be looking at very cautious and safe trades for next few days, until new all-time high is broken, and or if there's any correction until then. So that would be my next take on the trades there. But invested, of course, I'm continuing to increase my portfolio in the equity side over a period of time, because of course next 4 to 5 years is looking amazing for India. So India now a 3.5 trillion around economy should be looking at least about 5.5 to 6 trillion economy in the next 4 5 years. So that's something that I am kind of positive on. So I'm really bullish on India as on today. So that's exactly what is my investment sentiment, I would say, and that's exactly what is passed on in the MPA community as well. Yeah, so it was good to see good morning messages from Proshivanna and Prasanna. Good morning, guys. So, of course, this is the plan for now. So, I'm not going in for any aggressive trading today as well. We've already had a very decent week. We have, in fact, booked a profit of more than 1% for this week. So, that's something really good. So, like I told you, today we'll have a more sedate, comfortable day and watching what's going to happen in the market, if it's going to trending. Probably by end of day we'll look at adding some positions again, but in a safe mode. So that's it for now. This is Srikanth Rajan signing off, wishing you a happy weekend ahead. We will catch up on Sunday with the Market Pulse video where we discuss about the entire week and also what could you expect in next week, but that's sharp at 7 p.m. on Sunday. So that's it for now. But before we leave, of course, do remember to press the like button if you love the content that we share, and do share the podcast with your friends and relatives to help them learn and invest together with us. Goodbye. Have a great weekend.